But if you don't get the knowledge, ain't no way that anybody can save this people without transferring necessary, requisite knowledge. But there's an article that I want to quote from that says there's no longer a need for dire predictions, hand-wringing, or apprehension about losing a generation of black boys. It's too late. We've already lost 2 generations of young black men since the 60s, since the death of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We have lost 2 generations, and we're about to lose the 3rd. Now, you young men, you are different than your parents. There's no question. And there's a great fear of what they see in you. It says, in education, in employment, in economics, in incarceration, in health and housing and parenting, we've lost 2 generations of young black men. The question that remains is, will we lose the next 2 or 3 generations, or possibly every generation of black boys hereafter, to the streets, to negative media, to what is called gangs, to drugs, to poor education, to unemployment, to father absence, to crime, violence, and death? I submit to the writer of such an article, it won't get to 3 more generations, because the intent is to kill us all off within this century. Now, I'm going to prove my point. And the reason I'm going where I'm going, and I'm bringing the government of the United States to the witness stand, is that if you see what a powerful United States government, with the wise of this government, is doing to kill off an entire people, then you got to know that if we make it, it'll be God that saves us and gets us through this, because none of our leaders are capable. None of them. Was discovered recently that even when a young black male graduates from a U.S. college, there's a good chance that he's from Africa, the Caribbean, or Europe, but not from the United States. See, this is not an accident. That's what I want to tell you. I want you to see this. These young black men are not involved in shooting and drugging and killing as an accident. This has been socially engineered. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Black men in prison in America have become as American as apple pie. There are more black young men in prisons and jails in the United States, about 1.1 million, than there are black men incarcerated in the rest of the world. Let me give you an idea of population so you could see how drastic these figures are. We are, just say, 40 million in America. Do you know people of color around the earth outnumber white people 11 to 1, 4,400,000,000 or 800 million outside of America, and there's more young black people in America in jail than all black people all over the world combined. Incarceration. Somebody is working. This criminalization process starts in elementary schools, with black male children as young as 6 and 7 years old being arrested in staggering numbers, according to a 2005 report. It's called Education on Lockdown. The rest of the world is watching and following the lead of America. Other countries, including England, Canada, Jamaica, Brazil, and South Africa, are adopting American social policies that encourage the incarceration and destruction of young black men. This is leading to a worldwide catastrophe, but still, there is no adequate response from the American community. The schools that black boys attend prepare them with skills that are short-term, meaning skills that will make them obsolete before they even graduate. So they're giving you something that even when you graduate, you can't use it. I was in Atlanta 2-3 weeks ago, and I spoke at Clark College on the Atlanta campus, and I was shocked that that beautiful university campus is a plantation. You send your children there, you mothers work hard, put together what you can, or you children borrow money to go to school, to end up with an education that you can't use. And the college presidents are not preparing young black men and women to do something that is constructive in creating jobs. It's difficult for me to tell black children stay in school. I know what they're being fed. And I know that to tell them to stay there is like asking them to go to a restaurant where they're feeding dead cats, rats, and dogs on the menu and asking my children to patronize that kind of restaurant. What they're being fed is actually garbage. Garbage. And if I had the time, I'd take it from the kindergarten and tear it to pieces to show you, all of you who teach, if you're going to teach this garbage that you have been taught to these young people, your days of teaching are finished unless you get higher qualifications. So don't tell me nothing about your degree. I know what you got. And the result of what you got is the condition that we're looking at.